to Diva Talk. This is our final conversation about age, and we welcome back our special host, Dr. Sixto J, Sicilia, and he's introducing another guest.
She is a good friend of mine. Her name is Irene Nikolai. She is originally from the Ukraine. She came to the United States in 1948, and after finishing high school and college here in Los Angeles, after UCLA, she went to New York, where she followed a successful opera career in the international opera scene. She came back to LA in the probably the late 70s, and now she makes her a great life right here in the City of Angels.
She sounds like a diva.
Yeah, I have the pleasure of introducing the fruit of my loins, my beautiful baby girl, and she is mini diva. She is mini me, absolutely. So welcome, Tori Payne.
This is the Nikolai.
Well, hello, gorgeous.
Straight from the Ukraine.
Oh, yeah, right.
Tori, so this is Tori. Do you go by Tori or Victoria? How would you go?
Either one. Everyone usually calls me Tori.
Mia's sister.
Oh.
I mean, Mia's sister.
No,
Mia's
Mia's
daughter.
Mia's daughter? Really? Wow. I would have said sister.
I know. It's funny, huh?
Well,
Yeah.
thanks for that.
My mom would be flattered.
Yeah.
She should be.
I'm so excited that we're having you guys in the final conversation about age, because I was just saying that Tori, who is, you just turned 20, correct?
Just turned 20, yes.
So, wow, that's happy birthday.
Happy birthday, yeah. Thank you.
And
I'm gonna be 28.
Irene, you're in your 80s.
I'll be 83 next month.
Well, happy early
Happy birthday to you too.
Thank you.
Wow,
Happy birthday.
62 on the 28th.
Really? Nah.
And I'm representing Fabulous and 50.
Fabulous is right.
And I'm representing Foxy 40.
Wow, good for
45.
you. You certainly
So
are.
to say 40 up.
40. Okay. So we don't talk about the up.
Well, we are going to talk about the up, because that's why we're having this conversation.
Uh-huh.
Well, I really
That's
like
the
being
most
older.
interesting part.
Yeah.
Yes, that is.
It
So,
is. It's the most interesting. It's the best years of my life. I love being old.
well, let's start with that. Why? Because how do you feel being your age?
I love it.
Well, tell us why.
However, I don't have pain.
Right.
I don't have pain. So that's why I feel like I have the same energy I had before. Like a lot of people my age, I still think I'm 30. So I do stuff I shouldn't do. And then I ache.
Then you pay for it.
Then I pay for it. But,
Like tearing up the house next door.
oh, yeah. But yeah, it's just the pressures of being young. I don't envy young people. I think the pressures of being young are tremendous. And, once you accept that you're old, it's like, good, fine, I've done it. Now I can relax. Besides, people are very nice to me. I hear the Latino people calling me Mama. That's cool.
That was Abuela. She's not really my Abuela, but she practically raised me. This corner is her escuela now.
Because we do it's a term of endearment.
Yeah.
So you call Mama.
It's really cool. I mean, the cashier just saying, "Thank you, Mama. Have a good day." Nice. Never had that before. So yeah.
I love that you said that you're not in pain. You're going to have to blog about that, because I think a lot of people, even my age, want to know how to not be in pain.
Well, it's circumstances and genes, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, my mom died at the age of almost 100, and she was gone up here, but her body was terrific. So besides, people from that part of the world, I hear, live forever. So they just live a very, very long time. As long as there's no pain, then this is very cool.
The experiences, right? The experiences.
The experiences, yes, lately I've been looking back and amazing. I mean, I think people my age have lived several lives, as I have. And there's just stages. I don't know if Sixto mentioned that I was an opera singer at one time. I don't know who that was. I really don't. I mean, I remember
Singing.
and I remember the music, which was my life, of course, but I don't know who that was.
And it's not because she forgot.
No, I didn't forget it.
It's a different identity now.
No,
It's a
I get that.
completely different identity. And I like this identity more.
And that's really good to know, because I think a lot of people through life are always trying to find the identity, you know? This is what I am doing. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to study and be this and be that. And I think that everything just changes as you progress.
Yes.
But how was it when you were in New York, when you were doing all that?
Oh gosh, New York. When I had to come back here because I had to take care of my mom, I was going to stay just long enough to have her situated and then, of course, go back. I had a fabulous apartment there and I had my friends. And I missed it, and I still miss it. I missed it terribly. I didn't like being here. It was too quiet. I mean, the first month it was beautiful, but then, there's nothing to do. My friends aren't here. And it's such a low pace. I mean, New York, it just goes. Although now I wouldn't go back because I think there's a lot more people now than there were when I was there.
Oh, and the weather.
The weather, horrible. Look at this weather today. It's wonderful. So California really is the place to be. And I've gotten used to the weather, and I've gotten used to the slow pace, and it suits me fine. I don't drive anymore. And I missed walking. New York is such a walking city. I really, really missed it. But, it's a trade-off. And I do like it. I like where I am. I like the neighborhood. I like my neighbors.
You like your life.
I like my life, indeed.
That's a bold statement to make. And, a lot of people, might look back on their life and feel, and we'll talk about that. But I wanted to go back to what you said earlier about the pressures of being younger, especially now.
Oh my goodness.
Tori, could you speak to that? Like being that you just turned 20, like what your pressures are? What are you up against? How do you feel being 20?
In terms of pressure, I don't get a lot of pressure of just being young. I genuinely just feel young and free, and I feel like everyone's accepted me no matter what. So whether I have everything planned out or not, they're probably just like, yeah, okay.
Well, except for your Uncle Mark, maybe.
Well, my dad did always want me to have everything planned out, and he wanted me to go to college and get everything figured out. But it is a big stressor, especially if it's not something that you want to do or if it's something that you know. But I wouldn't say it was anything bad.
Do you like being 20? Do you feel like this is a good age for you? Like, were you like, I can't wait to get out of my teens?
I moved out whenever I was 18, and so it's kind of all merged together. I feel like the years have kind of just flown by, being a teenager in terms of like living with my parents, and being a teenager is in like 18, 19 whenever I was on my own were two completely different things.
Sure. Well, it's funny. So you said you've been on your own since what, 18?
18, yeah.
Yeah. It's funny that you said the years fly by and you're 20.
Well, I know it's only 2 years, but it does feel like it's like been super quick.
Well, brace yourself, honey. It's going to go a lot faster.
Yeah.
It does.
Well, do you feel like you're happy in your age, or are you like, is there a particular age that you're looking forward to hitting, like 21?
I don't feel like an age sets your life. So like, I don't feel like I'll turn 25 and I'll have everything figured out. feel like whatever happens, happens. Every year is kind of different. It's a more of a surprise every time.
Mhm.
I love what you just said.
That attitude.
Yeah, that your age doesn't set your life. We're gonna have to turn that into a meme, Mia.
Yeah, hold on to that statement.
Yeah, that's a little gem, because I feel like, and this is actually kind of a little bit later in our questions, but we can jump to it, is did you have this idea that your life would be over by a certain age?
I feel like I've seen that in movies a lot, and just growing up, everyone's like, oh, you turned 30 or 40 and you're old, you can't do anything anymore. Like you like gotta have a family by 28 or everything, like a house and everything. But I definitely don't think like that. I think that you could be, I've seen 80-year-old bodybuilders, so I know that you can be any age and do anything.
True.
Well, Irene
Has a contractor's license. No, not
A contractor's license?
Carpenter's license.
Carpentries. Exactly.
Yeah.
You should do everything.
Tell them what you did in New York with the ladies.
Oh, you may not have as many pressures as I did.
Right, they are different times.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
That's what I mean. That's
in my day, you had to be married by a certain age, and you had to have a child by a certain age. And if you were in a profession like mine was, it's okay not to. But the outside world, I mean, you just had to. Also, women didn't have any particular opportunities. Librarian, teacher, nurse, secretary. That's
secretarial school.
Secretarial school, exactly. My mother enlisted me in a secretarial school, and this woman came to give me a test, and I knew what was going on, and I was not going to be a secretary. And after the test, she said, I don't think this is the right place for her. I said, yay. The pressures I was thinking about for your age group is the environmental concerns, the political situations. This is something that you're all going to have to face. And I'm exempt now. I'm just not going to be around. I do what I can, but I'm not going to be around. To me, the world that's coming up is problematic, a little frightening. Although it was, I guess it was in my age as well.
It was. You remember when you were talking about the sittings at the lunch counters?
Oh my goodness, yeah. Civil rights movement, exactly. I was right in the middle of it, and it was the best time. It's always the students that make trouble. And so most of us were from UCLA or Stanford. And we went out there and we got together and sat in the middle of Western and Wilshire, which was at that time the busiest crossroad. And we just sat there and tied up traffic, and they hauled us away, and we were singing "We Shall Overcome." We were going to change the world. And the sit-ins, it was, take a minority to lunch where they were not allowed to go. We had a lot of diners at that time. So you would bring in your friend and they wouldn't serve him or her. And people got pretty pissed. They would put ice cream down your back and really harassing. And we were so proud of ourselves. We sat there. Well, pretty soon we came every day. And we just sat there. And pretty soon, the population, the customers started to disappear. And then finally, the guy said, okay, here's your coffee. And at that moment, we would go out and we would say, here's one. So we broke the barrier. And we would go from diner to diner and do this. Racism was... I can't even describe it. I think the most shocking thing in my life was coming to this country. it was the cultural, and I don't think I ever adjusted. I mean, there's nothing about my life that's typically American. It was the whole, the relationship between boys and girls, especially parents and children. I mean, it was just such a shock. So it took a long time. It took a very, very long time, besides the language barrier, of course.
Story's so funny when Irene goes to school, and because she was in a detention camp in Germany, right?
Oh, in Germany, yes.
Detention camp in Germany. So when they came here, she has her German braids and all that stuff, and her skirts, knee socks, and all the girls are in, like poodle skirts, and looking at her like, where the hell did she come from?
Yeah, everybody had a poodle cut, and they had those felt skirts with the obligatory poodle on it and saddle shoes, and I thought that was ugly. But they, yeah, it was an interesting.
That's awesome that you sat in at the civil rights movement. That's really cool. This past year, the Black Rights Movement, almost the exact same thing. We took over I-35 down in downtown.
Yeah,
we all came together and stood together.
If I were younger, I'd be right there.
Because that was 60, what?
60s.
60?
What do you think?
I don't remember.
63, maybe?
It was 63,
That
64.
sounds about the right time.
That's
fighting
right.
for the same thing.
Right.
70,
It's interesting
80,
how history is repeating itself. And
absolutely.
So I think that what's interesting is that, Irene, you see the pressures of Tori's generation, but Tori, you're not feeling those same pressures, are you?
I don't.
Yeah. I mean, are you really worried about the future of what's, because you did stand for Black Lives Matter. So are you feeling like?
I am concerned in some aspects, but I do see how we do come together as a community somehow, and we can stand together like we have and come and overpower something like that.
Wow, I feel like you are very inspiring to me, because I feel like I need to hear from we said this before when we were interviewing Sixto, about the Greta Thunbergs of the world. We need to listen to the younger generation, because oftentimes we might get stuck in our thoughts of what used to work, and we maybe even become complacent to what's not working anymore.
I do find that when I am young, so I do adapt to the new things very well. So when I run across an older person who doesn't necessarily want to adapt to these ways.
And it makes my heart feel good when I see young people taking steps to save the environment.
Of course.
And actually doing stuff. We weren't concerned with that, of course, yet, but it's in the hands of the young people. And I think young people are doing things that are extremely hopeful. So more power to you guys.
Yeah, we need you to come out and keep using your voice.
And you're doing it.
I feel like I'm learning a bit of my daughter that I did not know that you sat in the protest. I am so proud right now. Like, I'm literally just lit up with pride for you for doing that.
It was an experience that I didn't want to miss out on. Like for example, she can sit here right now and talk about how she sat in at the civil rights movements. Whenever I'm 80, I want to be able to talk about how I sat in at the movements that we had whenever I was my age.
To make a change, make things different. Yeah.
Well, I think it's always the young people who are going to change the world, like we were going to change the world, and I think we did to to a very large extent, actually, but way not enough. There's a lot of work still ahead, and I guess it will always be like that. But yeah.
Stay tuned next week for our final conversation about age.